Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Good game back there. I must admit,
竟然还不是
I
原
think
地
I
解散。
underestimated you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here.
Done.
It gets easier, I promise.
Oh.
Thank you, but I've been holding my own.
I appreciate your confidence.
我已经
I
打
transferred
败
here
你
to
了，你这个手
Wagadu
下
just
败
before
将
my 4th year. My
Wagadu.
mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
This may seem an odd question, but is magic the same there as it is here?
Mostly, yes. But I did have to learn how to use a wand when I arrived here. Hardly anyone at Wagadu uses one.
You can cast spells without a wand.
Oh, yes. I find wandless magic to be much more instinctive. Not to mention quite convenient if one is without their wand. I must admit, however, that I am growing quite fond of using a wand. It seems very dramatic.
Dramatic.
Is Wagadu a castle, like Hogwarts?
Its address is Mountains of the Moon. It is not so much a castle as a beautiful edifice carved out of the mountainside. I remember the first time I saw it, the mist was so thick I could hardly make out anything at all.
教授，你没有其他
And
事
then
情
it just
做吗？
materialized before me, this enormous school that seemed to be floating in midair.
Is Wagadu much bigger than Hogwarts?
Wagadu School of Magic is the largest wizarding school in the world. So yes, bigger than Hogwarts.
它是个来
But
分
it
多的
never seemed intimidating or overwhelming to me. It always felt like home.
It's nice to learn about another wizarding school.
Thank you for asking. I do miss Wagadu, but I am glad to be here at Hogwarts. Ah, I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better not keep him waiting. Until next time.
Until next time.
Of course, you can use
A
Accio
word,
on humans,
if you would.
if you're so inclined.
Well, you'd be using it on clothing, to be precise, Sebastian. You know it won't work on humans.
干嘛？我试试看。
Accio!
哦。
You wanted to speak with me, Professor?
I did. I trust your first charms lesson lived up to expectation?
Well, an outdoor competition wasn't exactly the lesson I was expecting, sir.
What charm is there in the expected? You did well, managing to best as gifted a student as Miss Onai.
Thank you, Professor. I enjoyed the match.
Miss Onai is always a fierce competitor, though I sense that she is a bit distracted of late. Now, Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum. Expect to hear from me soon regarding a special assignment that I
要把我
am
关进旁边那
preparing
个东
for
西里
you.
面吗？真的吗？你这么邪恶吗？那传奇级手套。
Professor Ronan reminds me of my grandfather. Loads of wisdom, but a bit mad.
等一下，这在哪里啊？这在楼下吗？
Revelio.
进来看按键。
After my brother learned the summoning charm, it was constant Accio this, Accio that, cutlery flying everywhere. Quite unsafe, really.
你要找多久的书呢，教授？ 说你要现在我干嘛？支线任务现在可用，不会推进主线剧情，但是有经验值。哎。
Is that all you've got? Yeah.
Levioso!
Professor Hecat!
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces on your own time. I get new students every year, but I only have one Hebridean black skull. It was a token from the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. No doubt you've heard of it. Now, you may be asking yourself how an old woman like me single-handedly took out the largest poacher ring in eastern Wales and lived to boast about it. Knowledge. To the wise, age matters very little. Today we will review a spell that has saved me from death at the hands of dark wizards more times than I care to remember. Levioso.
Levioso? A levitation charm?
Levioso! A surprised opponent is a weak opponent. Care to defend yourself, Master Pruitt? No? One thing I've learned as an unspeakable is the value of simplicity.
作为一个芥末者，你还蛮多话的。
Let's practice what we've just learned, starting with something small.
来，他跟的有点快。
Levioso.
Now, let's try something a little larger. Let us begin with the basic cast. See how the dummy deflected your cast? This time, cast Levioso first, then the basic cast. Remember?
Levioso!
Good. Now, well done. Very good, but the best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two. Duelists, take your marks.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Now, I want a fair duel, using only Levioso, basic cast, and Protego. You may begin.
Protego.
Levioso.
This should be easy.
Protego.
Tego complicates things. What be your first duel?
Let's just say I'm a quick learner.
I do enjoy lively duels.
对不起，那不是破心户。
My students.
Not bad for a beginner. You give as good as you get.
小屁小。
I put you on the spot, and you rose to the challenge. Points to Ravenclaw.
Thank you, Professor Hecat. Glad to have the opportunity to practice.
If what I've seen today is any indication, we can expect great things from you. I demand excellence from my students. They are
是啊，我觉得
capable
他
of achieving
这样子摆，
and
要有一个手
must
杖给他吧。
achieve it. A classroom duel is one thing, but battling dark wizards, or as ever more likely, goblins, is a different kettle of Grindylows entirely.
Understood, Professor.
So, I'd advise you to keep practicing whenever you can. Perhaps Mr. Sallow will have some ideas for you. Again, well done today. I shall reach out soon with additional assignments.
啊，不要了。
All right, that's enough spectacle for me.
I'd hate to face Professor Hecat in a duel.
哎，
I'm not much for dueling. I prefer to keep things friendly.
Huh. Always thought Levioso was for first years. Not anymore.
You dueled Sebastian. He's strong competition. Well done.
塞巴斯蒂安，
Nice work.
你呀你。
I enjoyed that.
Well, that duel was quite something. Everyone will be talking about it.
It was certainly good practice.
Practice? It felt more like I was dueling an expert. Sebastian Sallow, by the way. Didn't expect a new student to be so deft with a wand. Then again, perhaps this wasn't your first duel.
In fact, it was. Perhaps I have a knack for it.
Be coy if you like, but I know better. Magic requires intention and talent. You know, you might be a perfect fit for a certain exclusive, unsanctioned dueling
要邀请我
organization.
加入了吗？邪教组织，你觉得很可疑？
Unsanctioned? I don't know. School rules are in place for a reason.
Yes, to keep students in the dark. So many things we're deemed unprepared to know. If you want to get the most out of your time at Hogwarts, you're going to need to break the rules now and then. Whether it's joining a secret dueling club, or sneaking into the restricted section of the library, you just have to be clever enough not to get caught.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Pleasure chatting with you. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Perhaps somewhere unsanctioned? We'll see if your performance today was sheer luck, or actual skill. Look for Luke and Brattleby near the clock tower entrance.
Luke and
If
Brattleby.
you're interested. Till next time.
Till next time. 噔噔噔噔噔。哦，他不让我开门。
Revelio.
耶！